Hi, welcome to Give Me the Bible, where God's Word speaks for itself. Continuing our discussion about the type of judging that Jesus is condemning in Matthew chapter 7, I want us to talk about the third type of judging that Jesus is condemning, and that is harsh judgment, overly critical judgment. I've actually mentioned this a little bit in, I think, a couple videos ago, but it really wasn't my focus, and actually I really want to focus on that now, because in Matthew 7 and verse 2, he says, "In the way that you judge, you will be judged." So the manner in which you judge a person. And this, again, specifically is a stab at the Pharisees, because when they judged a person, it was not out of love. It was not out of a desire to help them. It was just out of a desire to condemn them and to make themselves feel superior, and that they didn't want to have anything to do with those sinners. And a few videos ago, we talked about Matthew chapter 9, but I kind of had to rush through it, so I just want to make that point again. In Matthew 9, we see the difference between the type of judging that goes on here. In verse 10, in Matthew 9, "Then it happened that as Jesus was reclining at at the table in the house, behold, many tax collectors and sinners came and were dining with Jesus and his disciples. And when the Pharisees saw this, they said to his disciples, 'Why is your teacher eating with the tax collectors and sinners?' But when Jesus heard this, he said, 'It is not those who are healthy who need a physician, but those who are sick.'" What I want you again to notice is that both Jesus and the Pharisees judge these people to be sinners, and really that these people are condemned and are headed for hell. Okay, both Jesus and the Pharisees make that same observation. In fact, Jesus really implies in verse 12 that these people are sick people. They're spiritually sick people. They need help. They need a physician. And the Pharisees are saying the exact same thing, that these are spiritually sick people, except it's a different motive. Jesus says that they're sick, and because of that, he then comes to their rescue as the great physician to try to help them and heal them of their sickness. Whereas the Pharisees, they just say that they're sick and they don't want anything to do with them because, hey, we're afraid we're going to get contaminated and we're going to catch your sickness. That's the kind of judgment that the Pharisees are doing. And that's the kind of judgment that Jesus is condemning in Matthew chapter 7. So it's not wrong for us to look at a person and determine and make a decision or a judgment and have it be a negative one. That, hey, this person is not living right, this person is sinning, this person is not right with God. That's perfectly fine to make that judgment. The difference is, where do we go from there? Because judgment that Jesus wants us to use is judgment out of love. That, yeah, okay, we can make that judgment, but then we need to go and try to help them see the light. We need to help them see the truth. We need to help them fix their lives. It's not what the Pharisees did, and we say, yeah, that person's not living right for God, that person is acting horribly, and I don't want anything to do with them, and I'm not even going to come near them because they're just lost and they're in hell, and good luck to them. That's the kind of judgment that Jesus wants us to avoid, is harsh, unmerciful judgment that really doesn't seek to help at all. I sure hope that that's helpful, and Lord willing, I'll see you next time.